Welcome. This is the
WerePanda
Podcast.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Levi.
Alan.
And Aaron.
Alan. Yes.
Alan. 4 weeks and we still
like Jurassic
got
Park
it.
3.
Alan.
Alan.
No, it's animal crackers. Alan. Alan.
Animal crackers?
Alan. Yeah, it's this funny video where it's like they had all these animals who looked like they were talking, and they dubbed like voices over it, and you guys see it's a lot of fun, and people use it all the time. They're like, "Hey, have you ever seen that video, Alan?" Anytime I hear your name, I think of that one. I always think of that. Alan. Alan.
Okay, that's weird. Anyways,
Yeah,
so welcome back after 4 weeks of silence, which to you guys will be 1 minute of you changing videos.
But for us, it's been a while. Yeah, lots of busy weekends for the past 3 weekends.
But holy crap, they've been awesome, and we
For some
can
of us.
totally catch up. Well, yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, they've been pretty depressing for me too, as far as failed dates.
Romances. Just don't think of it as a failed romance. Think of yourself as dodging a bullet.
Okay.
Obviously, if they weren't...
Thanks, Alan.
Hey, if they didn't last, I mean, think about it. If you had stuck with it, it probably would have made you more miserable than being alone.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. But who cares? Because there's more stuff. I do actually.
You don't want to be with anyone who doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah, it's a great way to...
But I mean, what I'd been doing was I was kind of forcing it. Like, hey, after this one date, we've gotten to know each other pretty well.
What do you
think?
Chemistry? What do you think?
This could be yours.
After one date?
Exactly. That's
why are you doing that?
Because I'm an idiot.
He wants to skip to the end. You know, he's sick of the middle ground, and I don't blame him. I hate it.
How can you be sick of something that you've really not experienced?
Because the few things he has experienced has not been pleasant.
Well, yeah,
like,
but I think
the way he's gone about it is the reason why.
Ouch!
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't think I've seen you go through a nice normal relationship.
He didn't have the chance to.
Yeah,
know?
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying is you haven't even given a nice normal relationship.
High school would have been the perfect time for you, but
you had the weirdest ones.
You know. Well, not even that. He wasn't allowed.
Well,
even still. No, that was a weird. That was a weird relationship. All of your relationships have been really weird, Levi. That's my argument here.
Okay, well, thank you. I needed a shot to my
Brindy,
self-confidence.
Brindy was just...
No, I think...
Come on.
I know.
I think you do great, but you just don't give it a chance. I don't think you've ever tried a nice, normal dating relationship.
All the girls who want to normal date you, you're just not that into.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Anyways, from failed romances to...
Weddings.
Let's
and
talk about...
successful romance and...
Yeah, well, it's too early.
I'm sorry, I'm going off of my one-date wonder.
He's gone on 1.5 dates, so...
1.5?
If you would even call them dates.
Well, yesterday would have been.
Yeah, yesterday was totally a date.
Yeah.
If I paid.
Did you
No,
pay?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, see?
Oh
there we go.
Payment doesn't matter anymore. It's just being alone with the girl and getting to know the girl.
You don't even need to be alone, because there are double dates.
Yeah, but you don't do double dates as a first date. If you're on a double date... What?
I think...
That was like their first... in my opinion, growing up,
Alan just calls me up and he's like, "Hey, want to go see a movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd like to see a movie." And he's like, just so you know, it'll be me, Elizabeth, and Echo, and you. Just so you know."
Just so you know.
Yeah.
I didn't call you for any other reason except
he's like,
come here.
You okay with that?
You want to dress up? You okay with buying your ticket? I don't know. Just say it.
Okay, well, to be fair, normally the first date's not a double date because the first date you want to get to know each other on a you and them level. You don't want the extra social thing. You gotta get into the flow.
There are two modes of thought on that, because some people think that double dates are one of the best ways to start.
Because you start out in a social thing.
More
but
social,
the problem
and
is
then
that's how friends speak. That's how you start
That's how you
friends.
get friend zone.
No, that's
Boom.
that's how
Jail.
that's how friends go to intimacy. But if you've never met the person before, you have to start out getting to know them a little bit before you
Wow.
go into a social
See?
situation.
And I mean,
You don't have to.
You don't
Oh.
have to, but
It's-
I personally think
There we
it's
go.
better that way.
okay. Well, I think it turned out. I mean, mostly it was a thing like.
it was just like sitting and watching.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
It's
I
like
didn't
it was a
really.
movie.
Yeah, movies
Yeah.
are horrible.
We were just gonna go watch
Yeah, it was
it,
just-
and then we figured,
and that's what
we'd
made it
invite
good
you
for
guys.
having multiple people there and
Yeah.
making that the first type
Yeah,
of
because it
interaction.
wasn't really. We
Was
weren't
this
really
before
trying.
Bob
Actually,
No, this was
After.
This was after.
That was on Tuesday.
So it kind
a
of
date
works
movie
'cause
watching
they
a
were-
movie with me though is kind of it would be a little bit better because I talk during the whole movie.
and you're like, oh, you pull off the stretch move.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't think I
totally
ever
you.
did
That
that.
is you.
I
Oh,
would.
You totally would.
That's great. Okay.
That's
Can anyone
totally
else?
you.
So,
hear the cricket?
Now
Yeah, I
that, now that
know.
we've talked about failed relationships, budding relationships, let's move to marriage.
Marriage.
So
Isn't that the natural progression?
yeah. So as we know, or I don't know if we've
We
talked
forgot
about
successful. No, I guess marriage.
No, we totally have talked about this.
this. Well, I just don't know if the last podcast we mentioned that the wedding was like the next weekend.
No, the last podcast was while you were there, and Alan, Aaron,
We-
and I
we
a
did
podcast.
one.
Oh, you guys already talked about it.
Yeah, we
Well,
probably mentioned.
The wedding.
No, we didn't really go into detail.
We didn't go into
No,
detail,
wanted
but we
to talk
mentioned
about
that
Like
the
I
wedding
told
was at.
Daniel that
We
like we didn't want to
we-
leave him out because
Yeah.
he
It's
seems
my
like the kind of
wedding.
guy.
I think what we
Exactly.
said was
We respected you. We pretty much
You
just
weren't-
said everything that happened.
Yeah.
That's all.
No.
Okay.
we said that you weren't here because you had your wedding and were on your honeymoon. So we mentioned that it had happened.
Did,
but
did we
didn't.
talk about the photo shoot in the rain?
No,
We haven't
No,
talked about that
we didn't
either.
talk about because the
that
wedding
was the weekend
that
before,
was
and
the
I don't
weekend
think we even
before.
did a podcast.
No, didn't we end up playing Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah,
that
we
entire
did.
Oh, yeah,
weekend?
that
All
was our
day.
first weekend. That's right. Okay.
The
Well-
Nothic.
Wedding, honeymoon, photos.
In that order,
Photos.
But they were all great.
we're going to be posting those photos, right?
We will be.
Heck yes.
In fact, the photographer texted Kylie yesterday, said they're coming along really great. We should have them soon.
Is he
So-
doing like just editing right now?
Yeah,
Nice.
he's just editing.
His editing looks pretty good. so
He
I'm
is a good
excited.
editor, and excellent price, great person. Shane Augustin Photography for any of you Utah people,
Salt Lake people.
Salt Lake people. He
He'll
does
travel.
he
Not
does
just-
photography for weddings, but he also does other
Mhm.
photography. Great photographer, great guy, good technique. The pictures look great. So
Mhm.
Apparently, my stepsister
Plus,
does too.
Easy
the-
to work
I
with.
just found
Yeah,
that out.
easy to
Used
work
him?
with. I really
Well,
enjoyed
photography for
how
years.
how
Okay.
nice he was, and he had a really great attitude the entire time. Like we were joking around. I remember this one specifically. I'm like, okay, so when you can get my headshots in now too, that'll be great. And I was joking around with him. And he's just like, yeah, let's do them right now. And he took a few headshots for me.
yeah,
Right
and
at that
then
moment.
he edited a
Yeah.
couple of headshots, and oh my gosh, Alan looked like a movie star.
I did. Not that I,
I
don't
did.
always look like a
Accepting
movie
autographs.
star, but this one really brought out.
I like that he just
The
kind of
sparkle.
rolled with everything that was happening. It was pretty good.
Mhm.
Like he
Well,
was-
and it helped because during the photo shoot,
It
was
started raining.
It was raining. Like we had planned
it
it.
we
was
had
raining.
umbrellas.
It was raining Triforce symbols and what's another one? Like cats and dogs. but like
Rupees.
rupees. It was crazy.
Yeah, because we had planned on having the photo shoot a week before, but unfortunate circumstances caused us to move it a week later.
We talked about it too,
Oh, okay. Well,
but we didn't like literally. That was when Kylie was on and she had mentioned something.
Right.
About, oh wait, no, that was a post.
Oh yeah, there's
our
a post
Twitter
on our
feed,
Facebook.
yeah.
and Twitter
Anywho,
feed. It was someone in our family got in an accident. They couldn't be a part of it. But the next week, like the weekend it was supposed to be, was nice. It was
It was such a
perfect
perfect
for a
weekend.
photo shoot. But we couldn't go. The next weekend it rained all day. But we were so fortunate because we got there and it wasn't really raining when we got there, and we managed to get the single shots of
Yeah.
everybody done before it started to
Before
rain
all
again.
hell broke loose.
Yeah, and so it was just really good. And cool thing,
is it
the horse.
Yeah, I got a story to tell about this one. That
Fine.
so cool thing. As Dan was about to say, we had a horse end up coming by, and we were able to take pictures with the horse. But the funny thing was like the rain was pretty consistent, but there was a short time where there was no rain, and I swear Daniel was playing his ocarina and he was trying to play the Song of Storms, and the moment he kind of got it right, it started raining, and then so he after that was trying to play Epona's song, and the moment he was saying that, the horse showed up, and I'm
cool.
like, Daniel,
I didn't realize that.
play the sun song so we can get some sun out here, and he just never tried that one. So, but yeah, continue about the horse.
Awesome.
Well, it was just cool. It was just fortunate, It was just some nice people who were coming by with the horse, and it just happened to fit with the Zelda theme of the wedding. By the way, all of you who don't know, the wedding was Legend of Zelda themed, and it was awesome.
Amazing.
It was
Good.
Spectacular.
I mean, how did you guys like the actual wedding?
Yeah, I like the ceremony because I don't know what they call those things, like the pastor.
Wedding
sort of.
officiant.
Oh, it was the officiant. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
cool.
how like she made.
It was
the,
very-
The knot, or
well, like the knot, but like how she
It was-
incorporated like
Mythology
mythology into
Well,
like her.
the order of the thing. We went and talked to her. She works at Crone's Hollow. Do you guys know where that is? It's kind of like it's like a witch, Eastern mythology kind of shop. It's like, occult. It's kind of like an occult shop, but not
occult, right?
Occult, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like not in as like
A cult shop.
A cult shop. You buy a
So,
Boys,
was this
there.
a legitimate wedding?
no, so but they're like really nice people and everything like that.
Yeah,
And
she
what
was
we
nice.
That's
we did wasn't a normal ceremony. It was called a hand fasting ceremony. That's what the cord was. It bound our hands, and then at the end we pulled them
And
through
made
it and
that
created the knot. But she had some hand fasting ceremonies she had done before, and she gave them to us, and we set up the order and what she wanted to say.
Oh, cool.
So the whole design of it, we kind of got it from her, but the way
But
we
you put it
designed it
together.
was we put it together, and that's how because we liked it that way. But it was definitely she was definitely very helpful getting it together. She was a really good officiant, and it was definitely more like we were already married in paper.
Yeah, exactly.
And we wanted to be more. We're not very religious specific, we're just more about loving people and being good people and just, do good and like the golden
just
rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so we just wanted something that was like
Nice.
along with the theme and
Mhm.
kind of along with our just, more open beliefs and everything like that. And that's exactly what we got. And it was outside and it was perfect. And, I was kind of disappointed. We invited a lot more people to the ceremony. We invited at least 40 people, if not more, and we had 40 chairs out. I think we had
10.
10 people
If that,
there,
yeah.
if that. It was, and most of them were like the family members that had come with us to help get everything set up.
How many people weren't? Like 4?
Well, I would have just invited like everyone, and even if there was more than 40, just like they could have stand
Stood
because
in the
it
back.
wasn't
Well,
too
the
long.
problem was there like a lot of the family we invited. It wasn't like it was just like the extended family on Kylie's side.
Yeah.
I invited most of my work friends to it, but they just couldn't make it at the
Till
time.
later.
Yeah, that's time, yeah.
Jesse
Jesse
gonna
was.
make it there,
Jesse was
but he
awesome.
missed it because they went the wrong way. They started going north
Oh,
instead of
dang.
south, and so they got there late. But Joe and Ben made it there.
But at the end
Yeah,
of
that's
the night,
right.
there was quite a few.
Yeah, a lot of
and
people
a
came
lot
to
of
the
people
reception.
showed up in the end, and it was nice. It was definitely,
Reception usually has free food.
and we had good food and a lot of it left over.
Yeah, a lot of
I
it.
wish I would have stolen some.
We totally probably could have paid half as much for the food as
Oh,
we
man.
did. With how much food was left over, that was just a shame.
Right
Yeah.
there, once they loaded him into that car, I would
We'd
never
never
see
see
it
it
again.
again. Yeah, I wanted to take some too, but then at the same token, I'm like, I don't have any space in my fridge, and I'm not going to eat
I
it on it.
I had hardly any of it. I had enough for
Yeah,
my dinner,
yeah.
but it was.
How was
so
that, by the
good.
way? Because you guys went
Oh.
up into that tower. Was the sun right in your face?
Well,
No, the
didn't
sun
you-
was going down right
How
then.
perfect.
It was beautiful. We got pictures up there
Yes.
and everything. But funny story. Okay?
Wait, okay, no, go. I think you're telling the story that I heard. Yeah.
Okay, so we bought.
Because you're really stupid about it. I don't know.
What?
You
I'm
got
never
champagne.
stupid.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
You got champagne.
Okay, we had got champagne. We got one bottle of champagne to share for both of us and everything like that. Okay, and I, pulled off the little wrapping everything, and I was unscrewing the thing so I could get to the cork and pull it out. I've had a bottle of champagne before, I know how to pull it out and everything like that.
That's not what she said.
I hadn't even finished twisting the thing that was holding the cork in, and the cork just popped, just right out loud and just everywhere, and it frothed out and got all over me and all over the tablecloth, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I have no idea why. I mean,
I think it's because it was pretty warm, and then we put it in, and then we cooled it down, and there was probably just that
pressure,
encapsulated pressure.
But it was hilarious.
The reason I was saying something was that, I mean, I've always thought that when you're opening champagne, no matter what process part you're in, you point it like out far away and you keep it away from everything for any eventuality of that happening.
It was just pointing up. Nobody
sucked. It's because I was looking up, and then it like hit me in the eye.
Oh my gosh, no!
And it was the size of a rock.
Answer.
No fireworks.
Oh my god!
That's why you screamed out.
Yeah, the part wasn't the cork wasn't the part I was worried about, and the problem was I was untwisting it, and I was gonna need to take that top thing, the thing holding it in. Anyways, I hadn't even finished twisting it by the time.
Why do you think they have that there though? Because that can happen.
Yeah,
it can build up enough pressure.
But
so if you're untwisting it, you want to make sure it's pointed away.
It didn't hit anyone.
No, I know that, but if you had it pointed away too, then it would have frothed somewhere else, not all over you.
Yeah, it would have frothed all over my hand and the floor.
Exactly.
It was almost better.
Over the balcony. Then it frothed out over.
There wasn't over the balcony.
I don't know what's up there. It sounded like the tower was open.
It is kind of open, but there's not. There's things blocking you from reaching. Anyways, it was
pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got up there later, and because I hadn't been up there yet, and it was just like with all of the other people. But like the first thing I noticed was just that the table was completely drenched, and I'm like, what are they doing up here? Like,
yeah.
I think Daniel made up that story because they ended up just like knocking everything over when they were doing stuff
with
up
there,
and then
threw everything down.
Threw everything down.
Okay,
and he wanted some believable story of why.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth of the matter. The door didn't lock up there. I would never have risked that.
That's what he says now. After they got. No, I'm just joking.
After that time.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah.
Like, we just thought it was like a little thing where they bound our hands together during the ceremony. But then at the end, when we pulled it through and made the knot, that was just awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Did you make sure to wear it?
We did.
Yeah,
we wore it the rest of the night. Till we got home.
Are you gonna do anything with it?
We're gonna frame it. So
nice.
But that was the wedding. Any other? I mean, I wasn't everywhere.
End up going with that.
The honeymoon went really well too. Although we went to Vegas first. That was great. That was fun. We won like $3 total. But
doing what?
Good job.
Just the slots. We
like
actually
$3 profit.
Why did you do electronic roulette?
We were just kind of having fun. We were doing it to get the drinks, the free drinks. And everything like that.
So
okay,
that's right.
Nice.
But
so still up $3. That's all right.
Plus drinks,
it was
so
it was
drinks,
profit
those
of
are
$3, plus drinks. But Kylie actually ended up winning a lot of money in the meantime. We just ended up losing it again because we went and played other games. But it was a lot of fun, It was like worth it,
You have fun, and if you go expecting to lose the money,
yeah, exactly. We went expecting to spend it all, and we kept it, and we still had the fun and the drinks and everything. But we also went to see a show.
What show?
Fantasy. It was like a stripper show.
Oh.
It was kind of
with
cool.
Kylie.
It was kind of cool.
With your new
With my
wife?
wife.
It's like, honey, this is a great show. Thanks for bringing me.
Was it like a unisex like strip show?
No, it was all females.
All female.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was good.
It was a strip show. Like, what are we
Like-
talking about here?
Like topless. It was a topless
Oh,
show.
that's all shows in Vegas, Daniel.
Yeah, I know.
You made it sound like you
Like
went to
a-
the
to the-
specific strip
Like a strip club.
club type show. Yeah,
No.
we've been to a topless show. We were what, like in elementary school
What?
What?
when we were in Vegas. We went to Viva Las Vegas. Remember?
I don't remember them being
Alan is
topless.
terrible at remembering things,
Oh,
but
like,
this
where they're,
one
like-
thing.
Were there like
But
with
they
the
had-
feathers and stuff?
But they had the pasties on, right?
Well, yeah, they weren't like completely topless, but were
Yeah.
they completely
Yeah,
topless?
they were
in this show?
completely topless in this show.
Okay, well,
I don't remember that really.
It was like
I
a
remember
it
that.
was like a dancing
Oh,
it was like a dancing kind of musical thing. It was cool, and everything.
did you get
like
front
that.
row seats?
No, we were pretty far back. We didn't get like.
Did they like
expensive
go into
seats.
the audience? And,
They
like,
did go
pull-
into the audience and pull people up
Aren't you glad you weren't on the front seat?
No, I wanted to be on the front seat.
Oh, really? You want to get pulled up? I wouldn't want to be pulled up there.
Why not? It was funny.
What
you're,
were they doing?
You're like
up
some
there?
senator, and they all start like taking pictures of you.
That'd be so awesome.
What were they? What were
They
they
just
doing
like
with
they
the people
pulled
up there?
someone up there, and they
Gave
had
them
him
a
dress
lap
up as
dance?
Elvis, and
Oh,
it wasn't.
I wouldn't want to dress up on clothes that people would wear who are in Vegas. It sounds like a horrible idea.
Well, anyways,
He would
Vegas.
not make it in the porn industry, Alan.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
That's all
Vegas
it
was
is.
fun, but we only spent a day there.
Yeah.
And
I learned a couple things about weddings on that one. One, it is very much gratifying to go to non-related weddings, like if it's not related to you, because I could literally flirt with anybody.
Yeah, and it wasn't like
And-
you were gonna flirt with a cousin.
Exactly. And then the
Although you
second
flirted
thing,
with Kylie's cousin.
yeah, with her cousin. But the second thing is everyone will join in the Macarena.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
if there's,
awesome.
Yeah, if there's
Yeah,
group
I was
dancing and
mad.
stuff.
I was talking with one of Kylie's relatives. She was a really nice relative, but she had me. I was talking to her through Gangnam Style and the chicken dance, and the only reason the chicken dance was on there was for me, and I missed it.
Oh, sad.
I'll have it at my wedding.
He's like, that's the only reason I was having the wedding in the first place.
What, did you have Gangnam Style?
Yeah, he
That
did.
played? Oh, we didn't even do anything.
Yeah, no.
Dace was dancing
Yeah.
to
And
it.
Azure was, but
Yeah.
But anyways,
I
we
don't even think I remember how to dance Gangnam Style. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so LA.
then we went to LA.
We need a simulcast like webcam while we're doing this eventually,
people
so
actually
people can
understand.
see what we're doing.
Yeah.
When it gets quiet, no, we're doing movements.
But LA was fun. Kylie got to go to the beach for the first time ever, and it was
You've never been before?
Never
Oh,
been. She's
man.
never seen the ocean before, so she got to see the ocean with me. It was really cool. We went, we swam. The water wasn't too hot or too cold. The weather
that's
was
surprising.
really nice.
So it's
you know.
just right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we walked along the beach. We saw a trombone player on the beach. He was just sitting there playing his trombone.
Huh.
Do you do this? Wah wah wah.
He's like, we
Wah,
just
wah,
got
wah, wah,
we
wah.
just got married. Wah, wah, wah.
No, he was really good though. And I told him he was really good, and he's like, "Thank you." But
That's why I'm on
we
the
also
beach
saw-
in public.
Tenacious D style.
yeah, we also saw them filming the movie on the
Oh,
beach.
What movie?
Couldn't tell.
Didn't
But,
ask
David
Daniel.
Hasselhoff.
Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't put up a banner. Hey, we're filming this movie.
but
Steer
was,
clear.
Did you ask to
they
be
had
an
like
extra?
everything. No, I'm not an idiot. But
No, they look
Yeah,
for
you
people
are an
all
idiot.
the time.
Because
No
you
one-
should have asked.
Yeah, no
They
one
were
wants
filming-
to ask.
they were filming a love scene. It was like the girl was running into the arms, and they were like frolicking on the beach.
What?
They didn't need
The
extra.
next movie that I see that has,
But
I'll be
the-
like, oh!
There might be a scene right afterward where they need you.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I was
sounds
trying
like
to
perfect.
enjoy.
Yeah,
my
you could have been
presence.
the extra that's like, get a room.
Yeah.
You could have been the extra. You know, you said, what was it? These
pretzels
are making me thirsty.
Yeah.
Or you could have just been like, nice.
Yeah, just in the background. closes up.
Mm.
Like,
Or you just turn over, smile, and do the little look like this.
Nah, but it was cool. And then we watched the sunset too. It was cool. But then the next day we went to the Santa Monica Pier, and that was cool. They had an aquarium where you could touch the animals, and I got to touch a sea urchin. And when you stick your hand in and touch a sea urchin, the spindles kind of wrap around your finger. It's really cool. So
And then you ate them.
no, we didn't eat them.
I want
He's not an
this.
otter,
Oh,
man.
Right here.
But then we went to Universal Studios, and Universal Studios was cool. But what do you guys think of when you think of Universal Studios? Just like another theme park, right?
Mhm.
Like a theme park, but it's more towards what Universal Studios is
Yeah.
now,
Like-
but not
like-
too many roller coasters.
I was-
That's the problem. I didn't know that. I thought it was rides that were specific to movies, but then other little rides here and there. Nah, it's just specific rides and a few shows. And so I was expecting not to be able to hit everything the 2 days we went.
Oh, and
But
you
we hit
on day one.
everything. No, it wasn't on day one. We had to
Okay.
go both days, but we ended up hitting everything. But we also went. They had Halloween Horror Nights, and so what they did is they had haunted houses there
Oh, cool.
at night and everything, and they had this really cool Alien versus Predator one. That was
Oh,
really cool.
that
Did
sounds
you
pretty
get a
good.
gun, like a shoulder-mounted gun that you got to like shoot
Nah.
paintballs from?
No,
No.
we waited in line forever.
I remember like the Buzz Lightyear
Oh,
ride
I
at
love
Disneyland. That
that's
was like
the
the
best.
coolest
You
ride
know-
ever because it was so fast to get into, and then they
And
had
then
like
they had-
secret targets in there that like
You could like
got you points.
Yeah, I still this has been always my favorite ride, but the Peter Pan ride was always my favorite ride
Wow.
for
Yeah,
one
very
reason
good.
and one reason alone. There's a part of the ride where it looks like you're flying over the city, and when you're a little kid, it looks legitimately like you're flying over a city,
Yeah.
and I thought it was the coolest thing. I always loved that ride because I'm like, this is the coolest thing. And then when I went when we were older, I could see it was actually just a floor with all these little lights.
Wait a minute!
I'm like, no! How dare you!
Then when I got older, I
Reality
opened my
was-
eyes and was like, no, my childhood.
It's like then I got glasses.
Nice.
So, but yeah, other than that, the honeymoon was great. You know, I had tons.
Half of it
It was-
was, and then
October was
No,
pretty
it was
filled,
good.
just events.
It
and
was.
stuff.
It's so tight, and
Yeah.
there's still stuff.
Because
Halloween.
then we
Oh, yeah.
Halloween, and
Halloween's
then we
coming.
like went to anime bonsai.
Yeah.
And that was
oh yeah, bonsai was a blast.
Yeah.
Bonsai was
I
actually
keep telling
surprisingly fun.
everyone that this year we chalked our schedule full of things to do, and we went to every one of the things.
Almost everyone.
Which one did we not?
We
go
missed
to?
one. That's right.
I feel like we missed.
What did we miss?
one.
Crap. It was
I
a
missed
big
Ryan
event. It was
Murphy,
the
did you?
it was the horror thing. It was the detective one.
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Murder Mystery.
Yeah,
We
and that
missed
one- you guys were going to it. Me and Elizabeth, we really didn't want to go to that one, so I went to everything I wanted to go to, so I felt really excited. And it was the one kind of vacation I've had where nothing really went like wrong. Like
Yeah.
I never got in a fight with anyone. Nothing ever like I didn't feel like crap ever.
Hey, you want to fight?
yeah.
Which
The
is
worst
surprising
thing-
because I was thinking like with
Hey.
like all six of us sleeping
In
like,
the same
on
room.
Did
It
you
was gonna
bring
be bad.
those
Yeah.
light up gloves?
That's the
from home?
only thing that was a little iffy. So apparently, I have these gloves for raves that have LED lights on the fingertips
That changed
and
color.
everything that change color. And I got these at the Classic Fun Center over on 90th and
I have an alibi.
between-
Sponsored by.
yeah,
I-15.
90th and I-15. You know,
Just say WerePanda Productions and you'll
and
get
I
it.
bought them for $7. And I took them there because I'm like, I'm going to use
It's a
these for the
rave.
rave.
We
And
were
I'm
at a
like,
rave.
"Woo, it's a rave." And so, like, maybe about 15 minutes into the rave, this girl comes up to me and says, "Hey, where did you find those gloves?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I brought these with me." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm just missing mine, and these are the only pair that I can see that anyone has." And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry about that. I hope you find yours and everything." She's like, "Yeah, I thought it was strange because these are the only ones that I can see." And I'm like, well, I'll keep an eye out for him, and if I see any, I'll let you know. And she's like, okay.
She must have thought you were like the dumbest criminal that you would
I
just.
know. You
flaunt
steal them
it.
and then you
Bother.
flaunt them.
Look what I
No.
found, everyone.
It's like if someone stole, they're probably gonna stash them away.
Gone by now.
Yeah. Well, and that's not even the worst part too, because like after that,
People
another girl came up, did the exact same thing, and then a third girl came up, and she thought she was gonna trick me on this one. She came up to me all clever like and everything. She's like, "Oh, those are so cool. Where did you get those?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got them at Classic Fun Center and everything. Are you from around here?" And she's like, "No, I'm from Salt Lake." I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's like on 90th and everything. They're only $7 if you want a pair and everything." She's like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then she's like, "Well, I actually was just asking you because my friend lost hers and you're the only one with gloves here, and I'm kind of the bitch of my group, and so they wanted me to come up here and just kind of let you know that it's kind of strange that you're the only one with the gloves and she lost hers. And I mean, she's been having a really horrible weekend, and we just really want to find the gloves for her." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know she came by earlier and asked me. I'm really sorry, but I did bring these gloves." And she's like, "Okay, well, thank you." And I'm like, "You guys are like that. My biggest thing. I'm not gonna wear this."
You are a pussy. At the third one, I would have been like, okay, seriously, you guys need to shut it. If someone stole their gloves, they wouldn't be wearing them and dancing them here. Get over it. These are not her gloves. I brought them.
I would have been like,
Seriously.
"You're being a real bit." Oh,
I was like,
Wow.
I'd be like, one, did they steal them off your friend's hands? Okay. If not, then you didn't. She obviously didn't care enough to take care of them. But then, like, another point of view would just be like, oh, I had something like awesome. Wait, get back to me.
Okay.
All right.
I was just
Awesome's
pissed.
happening.
I was just pissed off that they thought, especially
Three separate
after,
people.
especially
Oh, yeah.
after the first time someone came to me. Like, if I really did steal them, do you think
you were
I
going
would?
to stick to your story. You're not
Yeah,
going to get.
yeah, that's what I was
That's what you're
gonna
gonna
say. Like, that, like, by the third time, like, even if you like felt bad that she was having like a crappy weekend, and be like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to give that," you can't give it back at that point because then they're like gonna be like, "I knew
it,
he stole
you know?
them." Like,
Yeah, all of
'cause
a
he
sudden,
came.
by the third person, all of a sudden you're like,
Well,
yeah,
now
I
he
might
can't
have
return
stolen
Dang it,
these,
you got me.
but
Oh,
I'm not going to
no.
give them back now. I've already
It's like,
stuck to my
yeah,
gun so
like,
long.
Honestly,
Like,
too, like, 'cause
I'm in too deep at this.
I
point.
mentioned to both of them that, like, I mentioned to both of them, yeah, I got these for $7. I'm not gonna make a big deal about $7.
They were.
gloves.
I know.
See, that kind of thing reminds me of what happened to me at work this week.
but I don't think they believe the price. It's not that it's ever like rounded.
Those things are cheap. I don't even know
$7.23 would have been a more believable.
Nice.
I was rounding, but like honestly, yeah, she might have lost him, but you know what? She could probably buy another pair.
Well,
It's not like
the-
they're difficult to find.
The truth is after they've asked you,
Mhm.
if you didn't say, oh yeah, I found these, I was just using them because I found them, then they need to just drop it, you know?
Yeah.
Whether or not you stole them or not, you're not going to admit to it. But the
Seriously.
truth is it's more likely that you have a pair of gloves that aren't that unique
yeah.
than that you
Just
stole the
the
one
one
pair that everyone brought to Anime Bonsai. Oh my gosh, the one pair of LED
It
gloves
was
have
like
been
the Lord of the
stolen.
Gloves at this point.
Yeah, I know.
one
It's
pair,
the
to
one
rule them
pair.
all.
Yeah.
Okay, Levi, you were
Pretty
saying
good.
I want to hear your story because this
So-
is interesting.
This week, Business's internet went out, and I called you about it. I was so frustrated. So this business has 3 different locations. One here in Salt Lake, one in Portland, one in LA. Portland's goes out all the time. We're needing to go up there and just change out their switch. But this one was crazy because we couldn't figure out why. The internet coming in was fine.
Mhm.
Our appliance was fine. There was something with the switch, but we just couldn't get it fixed.
Mhm.
And so this is the longest that they've been out for a while, and they were out for probably 2.5 hours while we were working on it. And so it's been an hour and a half. Me and another guy are just scratching our heads, and then the person that works there was helping us as well. And we were on the phone with these developers, being like, all right, what could we possibly do? How can we troubleshoot this further? Because we've exhausted our pool.
Mhm.
And so while we're working, I'm about to go back to our headquarters and pick up new appliances for all of it and just change it out so that they could just have a fix right there, and we'll figure it out later. And this woman comes in and she's like, "Oh, are you guys having a good day?" I was like, "Okay, first off, no."
It's like
We're here.
We're
we
here,
Have
like,
no idea what's
An
going
emergency
on.
came up. I missed an appointment. One, I forgot. To be honest, I totally forgot about the appointment. But two, I would have missed it anyways because I was there. And so, anyway, so I was frustrated already. She's like, "Well, would it make you guys feel even worse if you heard that we had an opening happening at a little after lunch? Just want to let you guys know that." It's like, oh, thank you. I was waiting for an important thing. I had no idea that you guys had work to do today. Let me flip this switch. Oh, your
look at
willpower
that.
fixed it.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, I've been
yeah.
dragging my feet all day. Oh, I'm so glad you came in with your problem and told me, please understand that we have deadlines and stuff. Really?
That's
Oh
gonna make
my
me
gosh.
work so much
Oh my gosh.
faster.
I didn't realize we had a contract with you and wanted to get things working as fast and as quickly as possible. I didn't realize you were frustrated over this. Thank you so much.
Gosh.
Oh, I hate people like that.
It's like, what? You think we're not doing everything we can?
Now you told me I'm actually going to work harder now. Thank you.
Seriously.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like it's like that one guy with the parking booth.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, why don't you put up a sign? I just got out here to fix this. Calm
Oh my
down."
gosh.
Yeah, just some people.
It's crazy. And my coworker even said, you're traveling to California. It doesn't matter if you're driving your pregnant wife that's giving birth. It's still a set distance.
Yeah.
You can't get there any faster.
You know, if you're speeding there, I mean, if you're really speeding, 9 hours if you're lucky. Okay, but
In California?
Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You have to be like
120.
really, yeah, 120 the whole way.
And ignore all cops, of course.
But yeah, it's not gonna
So
happen.
frustrating.
No, I have people like that at work. There's these clerks, and their whole job is just to like handle leaking packages that open up.
Or
and-
open,
yeah,
just liquids inside.
Yeah, and so we can't like load them into the wall. They have to like process them and rewrap them and repackage them before we can like ship them again. And so sometimes throughout the whole process, they'll end up becoming leaking and damaged and everything. And so like it sucks, yeah, when at the end of the night you get a leaking package, because then it just means they have to stay a bit longer to take care of that. But like, they are like the biggest like
Jerks.
You're without
jerks when
words.
it comes to like this. And I love it how each one has developed
They're
the
all
same
terrible.
sarcastic personality. So it was like this one conversation where two people were like sarcastic 3 times in each thing. And so because we had them going in, and I still had to like keep managing my belt, managing my people, and so I was moving people around, and so I was like, hey, so they're here, get out of that trailer so they can deal with the leaker and like go to this trailer or whatever. So he was bringing out like, a bad box or whatever, and he was trying to set it somewhere, and the guy's all like, oh, am I in your way? And he didn't really get it as the sarcasm, and so he's like, no, you're fine, and then he just kind of like brushes him off, and you could tell that he's like, he wanted like a fight or whatever. And so like after I kind of saw that, I was like, dude, that is gold. I am going to do this with them too now. And so
Oh, man.
like it was a big leaker too, so there was like 3 of them there. So like one guy goes in and he's taking care of the inside, and one's doing something out on the outside, and she just kind of turns to me and she's like, thanks for getting a leaker like at the end of the night. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I just wanted to be like the densest person you ever like.
I don't
like,
catch their sarcasm
like,
at all.
And like, I forget the third thing that happened, but like, oh yeah. So, because the wood, it's like the frame of the trailer is just wood,
Yeah.
and so it can like leak out, and so, she was like, well, because if it leaks on other packages, they need to
You
take
have
those
to get those
packages
packages
out
too,
too,
yeah.
and take care of those ones. And so she's like, well, we should check and see if it's like leaked to the front of the trailer. And so I just kind of like look out the side, and I'm like, oh, it's just leaked to the middle. And she's like, huh, yeah, just the middle or something like that. Because like even that's
Yeah.
bad. And I was like, I know it could be a lot worse. Right? I was like, it could be a lot worse. I'm glad we're staying positive about this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
You know what? I think that's how I'm gonna respond to sarcasm.
What, do you think you're better than me sitting behind that desk and not giving out parking validations? Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do.
I feel pretty powerful
You don't
right
even
now.
I was like, have we
the
met?
best way. Wait, what?
I'd just be like, have we
you?
met?
Do I know you?
No, the best way would just be to go, no, I don't really feel powerful behind here and everything. That's just how things are. And everything.
You're just weak by comparison.
No, I'd pull open the drawer. Oh, what? You want one of these? Ooh, look, I'm all powerful validation.
Tell me something. Can you read what it says here? Yeah, parking validation. Oh, that means you could have read that sign.
Yeah.
Oh! So you do read.
so you do know how to human. Okay, that's great.
But since it's like close to Halloween, I've been kind of like thinking of just like cool things because I like recently watched The Conjuring and just kind of like I like
I still love
haunted.
how
I
you
saw
can't.
it. No, I saw it. I watched it with him. At first, I was playing a game and then just
Did
kind
you-
of turning
did
around
you
at the.
sleep well that night?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was so weird. Like there's a
It was
scene
crazy.
We
where
need to finish Outlast.
oh we do need it,
They're
but there's
coming
a
out with the
scene
second one.
where they're playing like this hide and go seek clap, and so the mom's like looking for the little girl, and you see this like wardrobe open, and she's like, I think I know where you are, and she's like, clap, and so you have to kind of clap. It's kind of like Marco Polo, and so like you see these like hands come out of the wardrobe and like clap. And so the mom like goes over there and starts like digging into the wardrobe, and she's like, "I'm gonna get you!" And then all of a sudden, her kid runs in from like the opposite door and is like, "Ha! You didn't find me!" And she like pulls off her blindfold, and she's like kind of like freaking out, like she knew something was in there, and so like it was just like creepy and stuff like that.
The
'cause-
worst one was that same wardrobe, and like it was the scary moment that you knew something was coming out of the wardrobe, and so like the girl's been kind of hitting her head against it, and she brings her back to the bed, and then all of a sudden you hear the same banging in the wardrobe. So she opens it, looks, and all of a sudden above the wardrobe is the thing, and you're like, oh, what's up there?
Yeah,
Like,
because
I was expecting
it
to jump,
inside.
but it was I wasn't expecting a different location for me to jump, so it got me good.
Yeah, and so I was looking up, and there's like these like cool things about in Utah where there's something called like Gravity Hill.
Yeah,
Where-
I've been to Gravity.
I
Is that a
haven't-
mystery
Does it
spot?
actually
or-
works?
It doesn't.
What
we
is it?
Did it. So up,
It's near the Capitol. I
It's
heard.
near the Capitol.
And-
So did you guys ever go with me up to the memorial area?
Is it where you propose?
Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
You know that road going up towards the view?
Sure.
There's that little road, that side road that's
Yes.
Memorial.
Sure.
There's a curb. It's only one way. You're supposed
Yeah.
to go and up that way. That's Gravity Road. You're supposed to go around the curb and park there.
If you park on the bottom of the hill,
You're
it's
supposed to go
supposed to
uphill.
like bring you up the hill.
But we went on a ghost tour, and they parked there, and
It didn't work.
it didn't work when we did it.
Huh.
Sad.
We went on a ghost tour around. There's supposed to be a ghost at West High School in Salt Lake City, and we were around there, and it was kind of freaky. We had one of the EMF readers.
See,
Well, we
but
went.
if you go in a group,
Yeah.
that might scare off the spirits.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's definitely true too.
Remember when we went at the Salt Flat or the?
It was
the-
just me and you, Levi.
Oh,
No,
was
I was
us
there
too?
at the
Yeah,
beginning.
you were
Oh,
there.
you were
and
at
then
the
we left.
beginning?
and then I left
It was pretty
Oh, I don't remember
retarded.
because I needed to.
I enjoyed it, even if there wasn't
was
really
cool.
any ghost stuff.
It was
Like,
cool to just be there. In the middle
yeah,
of the
it was
night.
cool
In the
to be
middle
able
of the
to
night was
explore
cool,
the
but
whole place. at
That last
night.
thing that we did where we stood in the circle and it was
Well,
like
see,
we
You did a
pushed. It was
seance?
no, it was
No,
some stupid thing.
someone
But
in the middle, and then they were allowing that person in the middle to be possessed by the ghost, and you'd ask it questions, and yes means you'll be pushed by the ghost this way, no means you'll be pushed by the ghost this way, and that one's just the power of
Of
willpower.
will,
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
the-
just
like I just
That's
power
the
of
group
faith.
consciousness.
yeah, it was just that part was
the
wild.
There's
creepy
some-
part. Were you there in the room when
That
we were
room
listening to the
for the
stag
radio?
and there's the like weird circus
But-
music?
Yeah, there was weird circuits.
Do you-
It was. It
do
was
you
in
guys?
there.
Do you guys remember Jim Bridger Elementary?
This is that weird one.
That school where we would look inside and it was all messy and everything like that. Do you guys remember?
Oh yeah,
that?
yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, that's haunted. It's a haunted thing, and what we saw was actual, like there were reports about custodial and teachers showing up and finding the school all messed up like we saw it. Like, do you guys remember that? Do you
Yeah.
remember seeing it messed up? Yeah, and nobody knew how it happened.
That's cool.
So we saw it all messed up, and nobody knew because like there were paper all over the ground, and there's like a white or a blackboard in the middle of the hall, kind of like it
The
was
desks
writing
were
on
all
it.
weird and
Those
arranged.
They were all stacked.
Stacked
Yeah.
together, yes.
No, there were some rooms I remember looking in, and there's desks on top of each other.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I might have actually.
perfect
There was-
for Halloween.
There was like we.
It's Halloween.
I got into a hotel somehow. We don't know how.
Which hotel?
An abandoned hotel
Where?
in downtown.
You don't know how you got inside? Oh yeah, we're not supposed to know why.
Can you tell me which, like, where is it?
He
It's
materialized
somewhere
into
downtown
a
off
hotel.
of tracks. Like
I know. I think I
yeah,
know where you're.
I think you know where it is.
Yeah.
But
So somehow Aaron happened to
of
be
legal
inside.
means, of course.
Right.
And so
Part of a ghost
we-
tour, right?
yeah, it was part of a ghost tour, and so we were walking through it because it was all abandoned and everything, and it's like the creepiest thing ever because there's just and it's so run down and there's just dust everywhere and there's just different things have been left behind, and so we were like trying to like collect weapons and just in case like something weird happened. Yeah, or something like
something absolutely normal.
because
yeah.
you kind of find like discarded like cans in there, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
you kind of like wonder if it's some hangout for some people. And so we were walking through and everything, and we were checking all the rooms. Okay, and so we're checking the rooms, and they're just like empty, empty, empty. And we open this one door, and we open it, and there's this like desk floating
What?
in the air. Like, let me explain. There's this desk floating in the room, and so we're like freaking out. We close the door, and we like, after a while, when we get enough courage to go back there, we open it back up, and it's still like there floating. And so we go over, and it was actually just like bolted onto the wall.
Ha.
But like it made it look like it was floating.
That's so
We
cool.
opened it up. So it freaked us out.
Holy crap, that would freak
much.
me out.
Like we were like, who would bolt a desk to like a wall and like
Someone who wanted
like-
to freak people out.
Right on the top of
because
his
it wasn't
gotcha.
like even like bolted to the wall. It was like bolted off the wall
Oh,
but
wow.
to the wall. So it kind of looked like it was suspended
Further in
the
the room.
middle of the
in
room.
the middle of the room.
That's
It was
awesome.
so- we were laughing so hard when we like
Figured
ended up
out.
figuring it out. We were like, "You're such a coward." They're like, "You ran too, man."
That'd be kind of funny. Like honestly, like we just got abandoned. Check what I did to this.
Yeah.
One of these days, someone's gonna come in.
Someone's gonna come in and
Go,
they're
"Ah!"
gonna freak out.
Dude, you shouldn't do that. It's abandoned. Who
The
cares?
long con, there's like a camera in there.
Yeah.
too.
No, I want to do something like that. Motion camera, rocking chair that you rig to start moving after someone passes through a sensor, with a dummy in it that says something.
Oh my
But
gosh,
in
dude.
an abandoned place, okay? So so someone goes in there, they open the door, pass through the sensor, and all of a sudden the rocking chair starts to go, and you play a little something. But you make
Sunny is at
you
you.
make the dummy like a corpse dummy, you know,
I got it.
and then you
I
have
get
a
the picture.
camera that goes when people trip it as well, and so you can.
Just like different
It's
facial
like-
features.
That'd be awesome. Well, that goes back to we talked about it on the podcast, but like when you died, you were
wanted to be
saying
taxidermy.
you wanted to be
That's right.
taxidermy
Yeah.
on something. God,
Would you guys ever like play with a Ouija board?
No.
I would play with it.
I just it's either you're legitimately summoning a spirit, which could cause a lot of problems, or it's a waste of time because someone's actually just trying to push it and everything. So either way, it doesn't sound like a good idea to me.
Well, the problem is like. So,
you gotta like get the wood from like this tree that's been like through like people like were
Lynching.
hanged
Hanged
on.
on.
Yeah,
Suicide
so, like,
forest, just go there.
Yeah.
the suicide forest in
Or-
Japan.
and then like a bone of
Are you
something
serious?
evil
Wait, what?
for like this.
You haven't heard of the suicide forest in Japan? There's this eerie forest in Japan that tons of suicides happen in. people go to that forest and kill themselves, and people don't know if it's like that because people have just been doing that forever,
And that-
or if
something's
there's
actually
something
drawing
those people to it to kill
Weird.
themselves. But it's called the suicide forest, you know.
I want to go there and to the Bunny Island.
I want to get
Bunny
I
Island.
want to
Bunny
get.
Island
There's an island like off in
that has
Japan
bunnies.
that's filled with bunnies. It doesn't just have bunnies. It's like I might have actually saved
It's like
it.
they
It's like
populated like rabbits out
You
there.
step
Yeah,
on
seriously.
bunnies. That's, like,
Your bed's made out of bunnies.
Yeah.
Ew, that's morbid.
where does the poo go?
Where's the poop?
And I'm searching for it.
I think I might have
I would-
saved a GIF.
I
of
would be
it,
creeped
but-
out if like you're like playing with the Ouija board and it's like, let me in, and like you're wondering like, what are you letting in? Am I letting you into my house, or I'm like, are you letting them inside you, or something like that?
Well, that's why I don't mess with. That's why I don't like. Here's the deal, you know. Best case scenario, nothing happens, but that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, something
happens.
bad happens. You know, and I don't know if I like Kylie's brother. He and his friends, they played with one at his friend's house, and now his friend's house, weird things happened there, and weird things were happening at Kylie's house that one time, and it's like I'm superstitious.
But-
I'm a superstitious person.
Are they only now weird things because you played it?
'Kay.
Like,
Here's the difference. I didn't play with it, and they didn't play with it at that house. But that weekend, we were there alone. That was on that podcast we were just
yeah.
listening to. I'm not even joking. Weird shit was happening.
but is it just like normal explainable shit? But
Okay.
like because it was just like the two.
It
of
just
you,
happened.
So
like-
here's the deal. The locked doors might be explainable. One of the doors being unlocked was weird because we didn't use that door the entire time, and we did go and lock all the doors. The other door being unlocked, I remember us going out, and we might have forgotten to lock it again. I don't know what it was with the other door, but all of the doors were unlocked when we woke up. That was weird. And that noise, it was loud, and I don't know what. I have no idea what made it. We could not find anything disturbed.
Had you already known before that weekend that they had played with the Ouija
No,
board that
I-
weekend before?
Oh,
Okay.
it hadn't been, they hadn't played with it the weekend before.
Oh.
It had been a while
Oh.
and everything
Okay.
like that. But I
That would have been cooler. If it
I
was
didn't
the
know
day before.
I didn't know about the story of the Ouija board at that point.
Yeah.
Or if I did, it wasn't
Yeah, it wasn't forefront. on your mind.
forefront on my mind.
Yeah.
But
No,
it
I'm
was-
sorry, I didn't save it.
I am
Yeah.
disappointed in you.
Yeah.
It is the coolest.
'Cause-
I want to go there.
Cause yeah, I don't know. I was thinking a lot because like I went on my date yesterday, and so like we went to the haunted forest, and so like because we were there, we were just talking about different like creepy things that have either happened to us or that we know of. And but the haunted forest ended up being pretty fun because like
Okay.
we got to shoot zombies
That
with the
sounds so
paintball
cool.
guns, and like
People
we-
willing to be welted by paintballs.
Well, that's kind of the thing too. Like, I wish it was more like that, but it was like you could see that they were like all wrapped up in like styrofoam, like saran wrap or whatever.
Understandably.
They had like padding, and so I don't really feel like it hurt
It-
them at all.
yeah.
I wanted
It
it to
can
hurt
hurt
them.
though.
Like,
I
I was
got
like
Peg
aiming
you
for
in
the
the
crotch
head.
and the head the whole time, just crotch and head.
the
crotch
first
and head.
time that I went paintballing, I had between my goggles and my hoodie just a small spot of skin showing, and that's where some kid hit me, and I ended up bleeding right there.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Oh,
It does hurt.
I'll wear my hat backwards with my
Nice.
mask. That way,
Mhm.
like it protects like the
Protects
back
the
of my
neck,
neck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I remember the first time I got hit like on my inner thigh with
Oh.
just shorts on.
I
man.
remember getting hit by like Josh Humphrey's like airsoft.
His airsoft
Oh.
rifle
And like it
blew off my pinky.
yeah.
Like, oh, it
It-
hurt so much.
it broke a branch to get to me, and it still gave me like the hugest blow I've ever had.
Yeah, that gun was
was
a
way
little
too
too-
much. Yeah.
That gun was not for airsoft fights.
Like
That was
I
fun.
was, because I like freaked out at that point. I was like, no.
I-
My
If I would
favorite.
have actually been hit
without that
Without
branch.
that branch,
I'd
to
be
defend
dead.
me, it would've hurt.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about that day was I was trying to shoot Alan, and I was noticing that my bullets would like go down and then curve up. So he was behind a bush that kind of went over just perfectly, and I shot it down and saw it go up, and I was like, "Oh man!" And I had hit him. He said
Yeah.
right in the eye part of the goggle. That was so cool. Like, bam! What is that movie? I wanted that bullet. I just curved it right into your face.
Yeah, I think airsoft was a cool concept, but I think we're kind of stupid with it. It was definitely not as cool.
Yeah, well, we didn't have the
Well,
right
I think
stuff.
we need
You
if
know
we
what?
had more
Handguns
stuff.
that were just like.
The smallest little handguns.
You know what I
Yeah.
still think we need to do?
Hmm.
That time we did capture the flag, like at the quarry and everything
Mhm.
like that, that was really cool. But we need to do team capture the flag where we all have headsets and walkie-talkies and can like communicate with each other.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would.
It's
That's the
hard.
one thing I don't like about Capture the Flag is the like you can decide on what you're going to do,
But once
then
everyone's out there,
Yeah.
different factors change what's going to
it would
happen.
be so cool to
For
have
me,
it more.
the walkie-talkies would suck though if like
Someone
you're
gets on the
getting close and
frequency.
then.
Well, that's why it's the headpiece.
But that's why
Okay.
it's the headpiece. And, you know,
Levi, where are you? Levi! Oh shoot!
Or like Levi, and then you're like really close to like a person, and they like look at you.
clever girl.
I hate you, Daniel. I have been captured.
Dude, the haunted forest was scary. The actual like walking through part, like
Was it in an actual forest?
yeah,
Okay.
it was like it's kind of like out. You go like it's in the American Fork, and so it's kind
American
of
Park.
forest farmish area, and so it was scary because like there was one part where I don't know, this girl was like spot on, but she was like the ring girl.
Oh.
And there was actually a well there, and so we just kind of saw the well, and we were like walking up, and then like from behind, I just kind of like, cause we were like it was to our right, and it was like in a little alcove in itself, and so we were just kind of passing by, and then like out of the corner of my eye, I just see something like white moving, like to my right, and I look, and she's like literally like ring crawling towards us, like head down and like looking up, and like she had the black hair and the white gown, and we were just like, we were like, "Rah!"
That would have been a terrible moment in the day if you're pushing her in front of you.
Sacrifice! No, I sacrificed her a couple times.
It's not funny if you don't do it a few times.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Take the girl.
It's best.
Take the
It's
virgin.
best when you walk, and then like something scary happens, and you jump them for them.
Jump
you're
them,
like,
yeah.
Make it worse.
All I can remember from a scary Halloween thing is that one night that we were climbing around at the park in the West Jordan area, and we met that guy and girl, and then ended up going to
the haunted house,
Yeah.
Megan, and
That's her
Yeah.
name. How do you remember? Like,
Because you dealt with her for a
that's
day,
right.
and
I
then
think
you said we dealt with
I
her
think we've already
forever.
had this
We
conversation
have.
on the podcast. I'm just always shocked that you like. I can tell you, hey, I dated that one girl, and you're like, oh yeah, you mean her? And I was like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly like.
It's
Thanks for paying attention
yeah.
to every facet of my life.
If I can remember it, you know something happened.
Well, so just a funny little thing that Kylie sent me earlier, but I wanted to say it on the podcast just because
I
I
want to
thought
hear about
it
your
was
sex.
funny. It's not my sex life. If I wanted to tell you about my sex life, we'd have to devote like 3
Okay,
podcasts.
so what did Kylie send you?
She said,
We'd be consoling him for those podcasts.
Yeah.
It's okay, Daniel.
It's okay,
And then I was
Dan.
brushing my teeth, and she got so forceful.
Okay.
It's like, it's
So-
all right, Daniel. 30 seconds
so-
is commendable.
So great thought for the day. Okay, what if the coins you find in couch cushions or at the bottom of drawers are spiders trying to pay rent?
Ew,
This is funny. Here's a good
Yeah.
one.
thanks.
You guys realize birthday presents are rewards for not dying?
That's good.
I like that one.
That's a pretty good one.
Do you guys want to hear about my ideas of like organisms as big as planets?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so like imagine, so like the coral reef like is like classified as like a single living organism, and it's like it spans like 1,000 like miles
Not
plus.
anymore.
probably not anymore. But like,
Once upon a time.
if humans weren't here and like that was able to like grow and like if a whole system was able to like envelop the world like as a single organism like flesh over the world, it could like it would just be like an organism like in space throughout the world, and then maybe it changes, like it evolves and like it eats the nutrients or whatever, and I don't know,
And kills the planet.
somehow it just becomes like an organism in itself.
Then it has to move to another planet.
And it can like release gases like
Nice.
to like propel itself or whatever. I thought that would be cool.
Out of orbit
Yeah.
into another orbit. I'm coming for you.
Nom.
Nom, nom. The original nom nom.
It clashes with Mars and just like
It just gradually like overlaps.
Yeah,
it
The
and
coral
absorbs
just kind of
it
grows.
into itself.
Yeah.
Spindles around it.
That's pretty funny.
That was I thought I was like thinking about that and I was like, that would be so cool.
Well,
Because I've seen those like shows where they show those like huge organisms that are like in space.
have any of you guys seen the most recent Doctor Who episode?
I haven't.
No. It's funny that you mentioned that because that's pretty
Oh,
much kind of
sad.
Dang it!
pretty much
Idea
kind of how
taken.
it was going on
Oh.
there. So
It's okay, Aaron. It would be the
Hey,
first
do
time
you guys
ideas
know-
were taken.
Have you heard of like the Mexican jumping beans or something that like it's like butterflies or moths, but like they're in small little balls that actually are like bouncy balls, but they actually are living eggs, like live eggs. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
I've heard of Mexican jumping beans, but they're like a novelty toy, not.
Oh.
I always
it
thought-
sounds somewhat familiar to me, but
yeah, I didn't
I
think
can't
they were
say.
actually like
Okay.
real, like actually did stuff.
Yeah, I just
Huh.
know those.
Maybe I'm
Like, you
just
just
remembering
pull them
something
down
when I
and
was
just-
8 and someone was tricking me the entire time. Anyways, yeah, that's something that I was trying to remember that on my date a couple weeks ago when I was in Cedar City,
Yeah.
because it must have been like a gelatin thing for like an ice pack or something, but it had broken. There was a bunch of little gelatin
Gel, like little
balls, yeah,
crystals, like little gel crystals.
but they were totally like squishy.
They're probably the same as like the water ones that.
Anyway, yeah, it was weird, and I thought that was it, but apparently I've been punked all my life. Again, thanks, Alan.
We forgot to mention the best part about Anime Bonds.
Oh, yeah.
Anime
Anime
Bonds.
Bonsai.
The-
Oh, yeah,
Whose
whose line is it anime? I was like, what best part?
So
By
I
now,
Loved
I'm sure the videos are on our YouTube page. But
Duh.
if you haven't had a chance to check them out, check them out. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the Shut Up Kakarot,
Video.
Is it Kakarot?
Kakarot.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll
I
also
thought you were
be.
saying Kakarot.
We will also be
Kakarot.
having
Shut
t-shirts
up,
of that.
Kakarot!
We'll also be having t-shirts. Plus, if you like softcore porn,
What?
that was.
Striptease.
Oh,
if you like,
yeah,
if you
that's
want to
right.
see Aaron take his shirt off,
If you don't know what Aaron looks like,
trust
he's-
me, it's okay.
Yeah, you'll
Wow,
wanna see
this
it.
is awkward.
Oh,
Very
weird.
homoerotic.
Weird.
I said it's
Is that
okay.
Okay.
It's not like a.
He had a fan. He had
Yeah,
a
you're
fan
right.
base
People would just be like,
afterwards. So
Yeah,
wow.
we had a fan base and
How
then
is-
there was like fan art.
yeah, there's fan art. That's how.
Spontaneous Combustion Man.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm excited for this next year of
That was
anime
fun.
conventions. Because, yeah, I was surprised.
well, there's a few more that we didn't add onto the list.
Yeah, I
Steam
heard
Fest,
Patty saying.
Fantasy Con, all those.
But like the dancing at the very end, that's probably what did it for me. But that's because I was only there the one day.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
they have a ballroom.
Yeah,
like
a formal
one.
dance.
That was
on
cool.
Friday
The
first
night.
night.
And that one's cool too.
That's
But you have to
awesome.
be dressed up in like nice
Yeah,
forms.
I tried to go back afterwards and like, cause I was already in, and then they're like, "No, not with your shoes."
my
I didn't
shoes-
make a fight for it because I was like, I was just
You're like,
in
I
there.
was just in
but I
there.
was just like,
That's
okay,
why.
Whatever.
That's why I hate when they don't make a strict policy.
Yeah, word.
Because then someone's
It's
like,
just
yeah,
like,
what you're
you know.
wearing's okay, but this other person's like, well, you're missing that
It's like,
one
there's
thing.
people in there with T-shirts, and I'm wearing a button-up shirt with a tie and a vest.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, like, did you guys hear about that? There was a school that did an arbitrary dress code for prom, and a whole bunch of seniors, it was like their last prom and everything like that. But because there wasn't any set rules, half of the people were letting people in for the things that other people weren't letting them in.
Yeah.
So there were women in there with like less modest outfits than people who weren't let in, and
It was like
it was
subjective.
huge, you know. It was
Oh.
huge
Yeah,
because they're
a
like,
lot
this
of
was our
these-
last prom. We didn't get to
Well,
go to our
I
prom.
would have just like, okay, I can't go in here. I would just go to like
To
the
the
other
next-
person and be
Well,
like,
no, just
But
because
that
they
didn't
had
know,
rounds of
you
people
know?
who were
Yeah.
going guarding the door. So like
So one way in.
One
but it was
person-
one person that's like, yeah, sure, you look hot.
yeah,
Go
and then
inside,
they would switch out with someone else, and they'd say, "No, I'm sorry."
You just wait then.
Yeah,
But,
right.
yeah,
Stick
but I
it
mean,
out.
Well,
You
they
totally
tried
no
to
one
force.
knows.
They tried to get their way in there, but they just wouldn't let them in, and so then they just ended up like leaving in tears, pretty much. The school
sad.
got so much crap.
well, and it
for
was funny too because I saw some of the pictures of the dresses. They weren't immodest.
Mhm.
I mean, like one of the ones had like a nice high cut bust that came around back, but it was strapless.
Strapless.
But it was a huge, like it was way up past the collarbone type top.
Wow.
Yeah. And the dress went down all the way to the feet, so it wasn't even short skirted, and they didn't let her in because it was strapless. And
Wow.
you know what bugs me the most about that is that the argument for it is, well, it'll distract the guys. Why?
Yeah,
You
why
know
are
what?
we?
We're
Why are
already
we putting
distracted.
this? Why don't you? Why
You're
don't
at
you
it.
Why
say?
don't you tell the guys buck up and be gentlemen instead
Yeah.
of
Why
you
is
know,
it that the guys are
given
given
a
here,
free?
you know?
They're given a
Yeah.
free.
It's like,
pass.
oh well, boys will be boys, but you girls, you have to dress like.
Don't flaunt it if you're not gonna give it up.
Yeah, they're basically
That's like
perpetuating.
my favorite line from Adventure Time.
That's from
not
Adventure
yeah,
Time?
yeah, like
crap.
he's in the dungeon and there's like this gel monster with a key inside, and so like he's
Oh.
see through, so you can see the key, and he's like grabbing the key, and the gel monster's like sucking him in, and he's like, "Come on, don't flaunt it if you're not gonna give it up."
Oh, I thought you meant in terms of like girls and
Well,
stuff. So
that's the
but
thing
still,
about
yeah.
children's
That's
cartoons.
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
that's why it was funny for adults at that one to be like,
Oh,
oh,
I get what
nice.
they mean.
See, and it perpetuates that notion that
that men,
whatever-
men don't have control over
Yeah.
what they do.
and it's
You
a
know.
girl's job to
to actually
make sure she's not giving the guy the wrong
Wrong
impression
impression.
instead of
Instead
the
of the
guy.
guy did. And that's just stupid because I know the four of us here are gentlemen, okay? And I have never once had a problem where I thought a girl was
being subjective.
being,
anyway.
being like flashing like herself to me. If a girl was interested in me, she showed it and I saw it. If I
It
wasn't
was-
interested in a girl and I showed it and tried to show her, I never once got mixed signals because of what the girl was wearing. Girls have their own, like, I wear my clothes because I like how I look in them. If a girl likes how she looks in what she's wearing, that has nothing to do with how others look at her in a sexual
Yeah.
manner, or any other manner except for how she chooses to express herself.
I got a few things here, like
To end this off with,
Yeah.
oh, I guess if we need to.
We-
Oh yeah, it'll
Do
be
we?
short. I guess.
yeah, we have a few
Um,
more minutes.
Okay.
There, so like, would you sell your soul to a demon for like, so like you live out your entirety of your life like normally, except for what you get from the demon, but then after your soul would be the demon's to do whatever he wants with it.
I wouldn't.
Nope.
Nothing's worth
Wait,
it.
what is it?
What's
sell
the
it-
demon giving you?
Yeah, like is
Yeah,
it for
anything,
anything?
yeah,
what
whatever
do you
you
want?
want.
What, is there anything you would?
No, because the problem, if I had something I could choose from, it might be a little different. But like if it's just like whatever, I wouldn't know what to choose, and then I would choose something stupid.
I would choose,
and I would
you-
ruin my life.
Immortality.
You could.
Yeah.
It's
Immortality. I'll sell my soul to a demon.
Yeah,
But
you
I'll
don't
never
wanna
die.
be immortal.
Yeah.
Immortality
The
sounds.
Sonic.
Immortality.
Why
yeah,
did
the
you
Terrence.
curse me with this gift?
No! No!
Yeah, immortality.
What I love
Immortality
is that-
sounds cool.
like you could like get
For
your
the first
head.
200
Well,
years.
you could get your head separated from your body and then like.
Oh, and then you would have.
Yeah, you're right. See, that's what I think would be
It
hilarious.
would-
Like, you make this deal and then die the next day or have something terrible happen. You're like, I call shenanigans. That was not going to happen. But maybe it
Or
was,
maybe
and that's
that's
why
why
the
he was
demon...
making
Boom.
the
See, I just don't think like there's no reason I would make a deal with the demon. Even like
You could unlock the secrets of the universe.
By the way,
explore
if-
everywhere and
If
everything.
I found out demons were real, before I made a deal with the demon, I would go out there and search for all the other magical things.
well,
I would
you know,
kill you.
why does it have to be my soul?
Because
because
the
that's
demon
the
said
hypothetical
so.
situation.
that's-
Can
Alan,
I
that's
convince
That's what we've
the-
given.
Alan,
Can I
that's what
convince the
demons
demon
train
No,
to
you
give
cannot
me
convince
give him
the demon.
something else?
I don't
Alan,
roll
do you-
for it, Alan.
Do you know why?
Nope, you lost.
Do you know why demons trade for souls?
Because
Gotta-
they're real.
They've
They
got
gotta
a
meet their
quota.
quota. That's the second time you've stolen something.
Demons
from me.
trade for souls because they don't have a soul, so they can never get into heaven. But if they trade for a good soul, they can use your soul to get to heaven.
But is
and
your
you
soul
get
really
stuck
that good
there.
if you'd be willing
So,
to trade it with a demon?
But that's where it's at. The demon can see your soul. You can't see it. If
So
we're going
can you- if-
By
my
that
lore.
method, yeah.
If we go by that lore, can you soil your soul after you make this deal with the demon? Does that mean that he
Yeah,
still wants your soul?
Well, after that,
He was like, "You can't do that. That's not. Oh,
It's like I'm like, yeah, can
But
I get
here's the deal.
$20 billion?
Here's the deal. a
Thanks.
soiled,
I just killed my best friend.
soul is better than no soul at all.
Wow.
If
I'm not saying
if
I'd
you
actually do
if
it,
you
Levi.
can repent in hell, then maybe you could still go to heaven. But you can't go to heaven without a soul, even if you do repent. So maybe there's a chance, even if your soul is not spotless.
Is there a way to be eternally damned? Like, is there one thing you could do that would guarantee you no
Well, let's
entry
just
into
say
heaven?
that you do the deal. The demon takes your soul. He can do whatever he wants to with it. Like he'll become your soul sort of. So like if he can repent and go to heaven, but then now you become a demon without a soul at the when you die.
But you get whatever it
But-
is you
but
traded
now-
for.
But you get whatever it is you traded for, and you still have the opportunity now to make a deal with someone
Someone
else.
Sounds
to
like a
get
pyramid
rid.
scheme.
Yeah, it is a pyramid scheme. My question is why does this demon not have a soul?
That's
Because
just
it's a
how
demon.
demons were
Because
created.
the first one was created by the devil.
Get it? Demon, devil, very
I
D-E.
know.
Well, why would you create a creature that has no
Okay,
soul in order
Alan,
to gain
You're
souls?
getting way too into
Oh
this.
my gosh,
Because-
Alan.
because
Just
little-
shut up,
Alan.
Because little
Shut
by,
up,
cause,
Kakarot.
Because the devil's goal was to let little by little for his demons to gain souls, access
and take
heaven,
over heaven,
so that they could throw a coup.
and the
take it
devil could
over.
get back to heaven.
Remember me, mother? Wow. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't make a
Does
deal.
this hypothetical situation make sense now?
No.
A lot
I
less.
just don't know
However,
about-
I
what
still
about
say
you,
no.
Aaron? I don't know. Maybe for unlimited power and the secrets to everything. And
Like part of me
I
thinks,
can do whatever.
part
I
of me
want,
thinks if I
become-
trade to a demon to become like the magician, the great magician that I wanted to be, I probably could combat the demon in the future
Well,
and get my soul
me
back.
too, and I'm
But-
wondering does he have how
like,
how does
yeah,
he have that power to give? at that point?
Exactly.
No. You know
then
what
at
I
that
would
point,
do?
I'd just be like, nah.
Levi made me realize something. I would
Okay.
ask to be a free genie,
There we go.
most powerful
Unlimited
creature in the
cosmic
world. Yeah. And since I'm free, I don't have to worry about the tiny living space.
I'm free.
Too soon.
No, that's a shout out to an awesome guy.
Okay, what's the
Okay, who's myth? Okay, so you know X-Men and the mutants,
okay?
and so mutants.
What? X?
uh,
Z-Man?
So
Yeah,
it's possible that over time we develop very
Mutation.
mutations and just evolve unique attributes and everything that are specific to individual groups or
I see.
people.
Mhm.
So whose method at that point would be better at for mutant kind,
Going off your text
Xavier's
conversation.
or
Magneto.
Magneto's.
Well, here let me just give you my side of it. I think in the end, Xavier's always works out better because the problem with Magneto and his superiority ideals and everything like that is that no matter what happens, there's always going to be uprising. There's always going to be conflict with that ideal set, whether or not unless you complete
Which ideal set? of his?
Magneto's.
I know
the
which
one
one.
where he believes the mutants are superior and that humans are
Should be
dumb.
subject.
So, but what about the times when he chooses instead to try to make everyone mutants? Would that work?
It might work, but I don't think it would.
I think
necessarily.
I don't
yeah.
think the problem
think that
was
would
change.
that
It would still
everyone
cause chaos.
wasn't mutants. I think that
That'd
ideally.
be kind of cool though.
I
would,
will
like,
be
go
the
back
devil's
and see-
advocate for everyone on this one.
Okay,
So
so
you've had this conversation already.
I
right?
mean, in reality, yes, if you made everyone a mutant, then there would be no one who's different. But then you're taking away one of the key factors that mutant kind is fighting for, which is their
To be
ability to just
accepted for
live
who
their
they
life
are.
no matter what the reason. It's not that they're
Like-
mutants that's the problem. It's the fact that they're different, and just turning everyone the same is taking away their own fact that they're different. So humans are humans, and if you make them mutants, you just basically took away what they want to take away from you.
Well, that's the thing. Like, who do you feel started the conflict?
I don't think it matters. I think
Well, I don't-
everyone
okay,
is
here's
that
the
way.
thing,
So,
humans.
Here's the thing,
Do mutants
it's-
not have the same right to try to change everyone to mutants?
I don't
as
think anyone
humans?
should change anyone to anything. That's
All
my
right.
thing.
Thanks.
But
Xavier.
if the world's existing and you know that's going on, do you choose to like be a pacifist and let it happen, or do you choose to like not tolerate it
not
and
tolerate.
fight?
Not
fight
tolerate the
humans?
injustice and
Yeah.
like humans wanting to get
Well,
rid of mutants
Here-
because they don't like
here's
change.
the deal. Here's the deal. You know, there's a lot of you take it and you change mutants. Mutant is interchangeable with, homosexuals now or African Americans back in the
Are
day.
mutants allowed
Yeah,
to marry?
you know. It-
Say
Yeah,
no to
there's
Proposition
always
204.
a lot of people who
20.
initially, who initially kind of fight that, and changing everyone to mutants doesn't necessarily change, the fight. The people, even though they're mutants, they may just not like themselves, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not going to change their mind because all of a sudden they're mutants. And in fact, there might be a lot of suicides. There might be people who were changed into mutants who decide that they hate that and they want to fight the mutants that were naturally and caused this. And when they're that pissed, you don't think they're going to pick and choose and say, Xavier, you had nothing to do with this. They're going to be like, why
Yeah.
didn't you stop Magneto? You guys are going down. Changing them all to
Well,
mutants isn't necessarily...
I mean, yeah, it might not be the cleanest way, but at one point
Here's
they're
what-
just going to have
no.
to accept it.
Here's what's
But
going to
th-
happen.
that
or, like,
could,
or
but here's
no.
the thing.
Oh,
They could accept that as well.
Here's what's going
as
to happen.
humans.
It's no longer going to be mutants versus humans. It's going to be origins versus created. So they're going to change it. There's always going to be a conflict. It'll be the original mutants versus
well,
the
here's the thing.
created.
All we're gonna do is
Well-
suddenly go back to the 1600s
well,
into the
isn't there
Dark
still
Ages,
conflict?
and then it's going
There
to
always will be.
Yeah, there always is going to be.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's the thing.
so it would just reset
Homosexual-
everything back, and then eventually 300 years later
Same
we'll
thing
be
will happen
exactly
again.
where we are now.
But
with
the
mutant
best
powers.
way to deal
I
with
like it.
conflict isn't by getting rid of one side altogether or changing another side.
That
the best
does end
way
conflict, though.
Is
it does,
to
but the best
coincide.
way is to find common ground, to find understanding, which is what Xavier preaches.
Okay.
The unfortunate.
Well, exactly, but so it's the minority's job to just roll over it and let it happen
No.
until there's the coalescence.
No, but that they don't just roll over. Xavier does his best to try to,
It's the method.
But that's the thing. Humans are still scared of the mutants,
Mhm.
and Xavier hasn't completed his goal yet. So while he's trying to complete his goal,
The
those
intolerance is happening.
intolerances and injustices are happening. So if
But
they
so-
can't do anything about those things,
But so why?
because then
But here's the-
because then it feeds fuel to the fire of the humans, where you should let us do this, or else you're actually making it seem to us that you are in fact dangerous and
Well, but here's the deal. It is kind of to the point where yes, they maybe have to roll over a little bit because one injustice doesn't fight another. But the thing is they don't have to. So they don't have to fight back. They
And-
can run.
We should
You
write
know?
the next.
Well, and
X-Men
so
movie.
like I'm asking for you individually.
What stand would we be
What
on?
would you stand? Would you end up just like?
If I was a
Would
human,
you? No, if you
Oh,
were
if
a
you were a
mutant,
mutant.
would you end up like fighting and running, or would you fighting or running, or like letting the if you saw humans being disrespectful to like a mutant, how would you react?
okay, so
I would-
let me explain this in two different ways. If I saw humans being disrespectful to
Well,
a
like
mutant,
human. So like let's say human world, they were fine. Like all the humans are fine with like the mutants getting rounded up and put in jail.
okay,
And so you see like a person getting outed as a mutant and being taken away by police.
I would intervene with that, but I wouldn't hurt anyone. Okay,
But is that how the
Shaky
media is
ground.
going to see it?
probably not. But
Then-
it doesn't matter. The thing is you can't just roll over and let this stuff happen, but you can't let the media affect how you're viewing the world. You just got to keep fighting until you do find that equality there, because not every single human is against you, and that's just how it is. You know, like in your
what if this is the first generations of humans, and so they haven't really adjusted to mutants, and so they do all pretty much hate you.
Probably.
a majority do, and that's definitely the case. But you can't just let them,
Because they don't know mutants, so they're not able to
I
like.
don't like the unknown.
They don't.
yeah.
Like,
But-
because like if you spend time with people, you get to know them, and so as generations progress, it's like
Well,
it
but
just
that's the thing
becomes,
is,
like, less and less.
I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. I'm not saying that what my method would be is going to be like all rainbows and butterflies. It probably would follow the same path as the African Americans, the women, now the homosexuals. There's probably going to be a lot of years of persecution, a lot of years of injustice towards me and my people as mutants, but I'm still going to do what I can to prevent mutants from getting a bad brunt of it,
And so, do you feel like that cycle is the best way? If like, what if the minority, even though they're minorities, they have more power than the majority, and
But
they
I
could
just-
stop that if they chose to?
I just think that using force to do something
But
like that
isn't
just
that what the
breeds
humans are
resentments.
doing?
That is what they're doing, but why?
So it's okay.
But that's the thing. Is it okay for them to do that? No. So why is it
I don't
okay?
know.
Why would it be okay for me? I personally do not believe that you should use force to do it. Doesn't change the fact that it's happening. Yes,
But
it's happening.
But you said you would use force. You wouldn't hurt them.
I
But
would.
that's force still to save the guy, the mutant.
See,
Yeah, but I'm not using force to subjugate them. That's what you're talking about. You're saying we're
Well,
more
or
powerful.
you could use force to like stop them from ever like
I got
hurting
the
mutants.
best answer for this.
Oh,
So,
there we go.
okay.
Sing, you canary.
So, ideally, as a person, what I would want to do is I would want to be an advocate for understanding and coexistence. And ideally,
Mutant lover.
it would be where we would either reach that or we wouldn't.
You're just as bad as a mutant.
But
You
the
might as well be a
problem is
mutant.
that there's so much gray area because each individual instance adds to it in
Yeah,
ways that you
bad
can't
or
even
good.
think,
Or do you need both Xavier and
And Magneto.
Oh,
has
that's
to
what
be.
I was kind of going for. That's what you were going.
I don't know. I just came up with that.
I think that they both
Represent
contribute
what would
to what's going to happen, both positively and negatively. The problem is that since there are so many people with so many mindsets and so many incidents, you can't, as much as you'd want to just choose one way of doing things, it's not going to work because they're not going to choose
It's not
one
the
way
guy
of
came
doing
up with that
things.
whole thing. You realize this, right? He must have been talking with other people. Like, I have this idea, and like other people are like, well, there's got to be someone that's going to be. He's like, okay, Magneto.
Yeah, no kidding. It's
Well,
just
actually,
it's such a
think
black
about it.
gray area.
I would.
There was like Malcolm X, but then there was also like
Martin Luther King.
Yeah. I would honestly be someone
That's
like.
that's like a
But
Not the best
But that's the thing.
analogy.
No, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had nothing to do with each other. Malcolm.
Well, I know they don't have anything.
yeah,
to
no, but
do
it's
with
just
each other. They're
it's
not
like how there was
brothers.
two
it's
different-
like during the Vietnam
just-
War how there were the hippies who were peaceful in their protests, and then there were those people who
Extremists.
the
There's always
extremists, you know.
extremists and the-
there were people who believed
you
that
need both of them
the
to, like,
nice way of
make
doing
change.
things isn't going to make change, and they're going to rock the boat. The problem is that change doesn't happen.
I love that phrase.
Rock the boat.
Do
Yeah,
you,
that's such
do you
a
think
nice
like
one.
it takes the extremists to get the media, and then the pacifists to like
Pacify the media.
to switch the media's
Opinion.
like opinion to like their cause when they see like the injustices?
It's hard. We'd have to look at history for
Well,
that.
that's
so.
like Alan said.
There's a
It's
lot.
just
Yeah.
a lot.
gray area.
Good
It was
discussion.
it was a good, yeah. That's
Very
definitely
good.
a good discussion. Well, with that, I think it's now time to call it. So this was the
Panda or where?
Panda.
Modium podcast.
it was the
Where?
Panda.
Podcast.
There we go.
this is Daniel,
And Levi.
And Alan.
And Aaron.
and we'll see you
Alan.
guys next
Alan.
time.
Parting note: if there actually were mutants, Aaron would be Magneto.